Hello everyone, thanks for joining our webinar on how to better manage your Office forms, documents, and projects on Microsoft SharePoint. In this webinar, we're going to show you some useful and powerful things you can do with SharePoint to manage these critical parts of your business, and also show you how SharePoint can be used as a go-to comprehensive and cost-effective workplace solution. I'm Sudhi Gumi, the Director of Marketing at BizPortals Solutions, and I'm joined here by Anil Gursahani, our Solutions Lead, and Surendra Dudani, our VP of Product. Before we get started, I wanted to make sure everyone can hear us. If you wouldn't mind chatting a yes or no in the chat section of the GoToWebinar toolbar, that would be great. Okay, so SharePoint is truly a powerful tool, but businesses that use SharePoint barely scratch the surface of SharePoint's capabilities. SharePoint can help businesses in any industry and of all sizes looking for a scalable and easy to use workplace solution. SharePoint can bring together one, critical parts of your business that we will discuss, two, additional powerful collaboration and productivity tools that Office 365 provides, and three, reports, executive dashboards, and workflows from your existing business systems such as ERPs, quality management systems, and CRM, just to name a few. So it can be used as your central hub where you go to search, find, and access the information and people you need, and it can be the only place you need to go to for your day-to-day work. And with SharePoint, you can reduce time-sucking busy work through better organization and automation. You can improve collaboration and communication, increase productivity, and modernize the way your business works. And SharePoint and Office 365 are popular and proven workplace tools for small and large businesses, and businesses are increasingly choosing it as a digital workplace productivity and collaboration platform, and we will show you why in our webinar today. So with that, let's jump in. As we have a good amount to cover, our agenda will be as follows. First, we'll go through some quick intros. Then we will tell you some useful and powerful things you can do with SharePoint to better manage your Office forms, documents, and projects with just SharePoint alone. And we will share some important and useful Office 365 tools you can use with SharePoint. We will also tell you how to easily make SharePoint do the things we describe with ready-to-go add-ons and turnkey solutions for SharePoint and the benefits of such tools. And then third, Anil will bring these useful and powerful tips to life and show you a demo so you can visualize and actually see what you can do with SharePoint. And to do so, he will show you our BizPortals 365 product, which is a ready-to-go add-on for SharePoint that does all of the things that we talk about today. And then finally, we will end with some key takeaways and Q&A, so you can ask any questions on what we cover as well as general SharePoint and Office 365 questions. Also, if you have technical questions on how to do things we show you, feel free to ask during the webinar or contact us after the webinar for help. We can help with any of your SharePoint needs. And we will try to leave 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A at the end, but please ask questions throughout the presentation. And please note that your microphone is on mute, so please use the chat inside the GoToWebinar toolbar to ask your questions. So for some quick intros, again, I'm Sudhi Gumi, the Director of Marketing at BizPortals Solutions. Prior to joining BizPortals, I was a management consultant at PricewaterhouseCoopers, focused on digital strategy and digital transformation. I'm joined by Surendra, our VP of Product Development and Head Architect. He is an entrepreneur who brings over 30 years of building companies and products that provide advanced, cost-efficient software solutions. He will be on hand to answer any product or technical questions you may have. Then we have Anil Gursahani, who is our solutions lead and our on-the-ground general. He leads our customer implementations. He has over 12 years experience building and implementing SharePoint-based solutions. And since he leads our customer implementations, he knows the pain points that businesses like you face. Oops. And then as a company, we are a full-service Microsoft SharePoint and Office 365 shop based in Orange County, Southern California. With offices in Boston and India. We have our BizPortals 365 product, as I mentioned, which is a turnkey, ready-to-go solution for SharePoint, a SharePoint intranet in a box. So we have a product development team here and we also provide implementation, deployment, and planning, and other SharePoint and Office 365 consulting services. We have over 15 years of experience developing digital workplace, intranet, and SharePoint solutions, so we are experts in these areas as well as the Office 365 and Microsoft platforms. And our customers are primarily small, medium-sized businesses, just like us and most of you, because that's what we know and breathe. We also do some work with teams and departments within larger businesses. And we are focused solely on SharePoint and Office 365 business users. And finally, we have been Microsoft Gold partners for over 15 years as well. So now let's go through how you can better manage and organize your Office forms, documents, projects, and existing business systems with SharePoint, and some Office 365 tools you can use with SharePoint. And much of what I discuss on the next couple of slides, Anil will bring to life in the demo. So first, we'll talk about Office forms. You can use SharePoint to do some powerful things with your Office forms, your day-to-day Office forms. Many businesses still rely on paper forms and manual approvals. These forms can be easily digitized with pre-built forms for common uses, such as purchase requests and time-off requests, and can get even more complex depending on your needs. And then the routing and approval of these forms can be automated. So you need to send something for your manager for approval or another team, and then HR for approval. These multi-stage workflows can be automated. With SharePoint, you can integrate with Outlook, your email, for real-time notifications on whether a form has been submitted, approved, or whether it's pending, and for quick access to these forms. So really a time-saving feature. And then you can create customized forms based on your unique business needs. So the level of digitization and workflow automation with respect to your forms is pretty vast with SharePoint. And then you can create a quick consolidated view for your forms that are pending and approved at your fingertips in a manager's dashboard, or create a specific section on your SharePoint site where forms are needed and accessed by certain teams. So you can customize your views based on your and your specific team's needs. And then as for useful Office 365 tools with respect to forms that you can use with SharePoint, we mentioned Outlook for your email notifications. Microsoft Flow is a tool that helps you create and automate workflows. And then Microsoft Forms is a tool that can or will be used to create your online forms, your digital forms. Currently, Forms is geared more for educational institutions, but its capabilities are expected to expand to other industry uses in the future. Then there's document and content management. With SharePoint, you can collaborate and co-author documents with multiple people and teams. If multiple people are working on a single document, you can check in and check out documents so that you know when someone is working on it. And there's automatic versioning control so that you avoid multiple versions. Rather, you just have one updated source of truth. And these are important must-use features on SharePoint. You can categorize and tag documents and content so that they can easily be found and or targeted to target different content to specific audiences so that they only see information relevant to them. This can be applied to documents and any news or information. With SharePoint, you can use powerful search based on metadata to quickly and easily find documents, information, projects, and people within seconds, saving the 1 to 2 hours a day people spend on just searching for information alone. With SharePoint, you can integrate with OneDrive for a unified view of personal and work documents. And then you can customize document views and lists based on frequently used documents or documents needed by specific teams, again, to quickly and easily view and access the information you need at your fingertips. And then some useful and important Office 365 tools to use are OneDrive for central file storage and sharing, as I mentioned, rather than saving documents on your personal computer. So you can have your documents in one place and save time looking for them. And then Microsoft Delve is a smart organizational tool that knows which documents are relevant and frequently used by you based on your interactions with the documents and content, and brings them in a quick and easily accessible view. Then for project management, with SharePoint, you can create and use team sites and admin controls for cross-team project execution. You can create dedicated sites or workspaces based on team, project, or location, or however you want to facilitate and coordinate the work and collaboration that needs to be done. You can manage your whole project portfolio or individual projects and their tasks, the task owners, their due dates. You can also create a consolidated dashboard of your complete portfolio projects to get a quick overall status on them. Say how many projects are completed, on track, at risk, etc. And then you can easily create with SharePoint and house and manage customized lists for whatever your project tracking needs may be. Risks and issue lists, resourcing lists, time tracking lists, and more, whatever information you need to make sure your projects get to the finish line. With SharePoint, you can also incorporate and view project calendars and milestones so that everyone is on the same page and marching to the same deadlines. And a very useful and modern thing SharePoint can do is integrate project discussions with Yammer and Microsoft Teams. So you can communicate in a Facebook or chat-like way on projects or tasks within SharePoint. So it's a very cool and useful capability to bring into SharePoint to keep your projects and communication streamlined in one place. And some useful Office 365 tools that you can use with the SharePoint for project management are communication tools, as I just mentioned, Yammer, which is a Facebook-like feature for businesses, and Teams, which is a team chat tool. And then also Planner, which is an easy task management dashboard tool so that you can get a visual status and summary of your projects and your to-dos. Then for your existing systems with SharePoint, you can integrate SharePoint with ERP, CRM, sales systems, and QMS, quality management systems. And by integration, what we mean here is bringing in reports, data, create executive dashboards, and automate workflows from different systems, whether it be a manufacturing or compliance step that needs to be routed to a team or another system. For ERP, for example, you can automate the review and approvals for formula reviews if you are a process manufacturing company. For CRM, you can create and bring in pipeline reports and sales dashboards. And if you're a manufacturing, healthcare, or finance company, you can archive use SharePoint to archive your compliance. And these are just a few examples. And then with SharePoint, you can integrate with Power BI to make data and reports from these systems and reports easy to understand with graphs, visuals, and dashboards to help you make critical business decisions. And then as far as useful Office 365 tools go in this regard, Power BI, as I mentioned, is a key tool to be using. So this is how you can visually see how you can make SharePoint into your go-to comprehensive single workplace solution. SharePoint can be your central hub where everyone goes to get work done. And it can be transformed to do many of the things we discussed in previous slides. Then SharePoint as a central hub can bring in and interact with key Office 365 tools that we discussed on previous slides, as well as your existing business systems and applications. So SharePoint brings all of this together in one portal. And there are two main ways to make SharePoint do the things we discussed. One is you can configure SharePoint yourself, but doing so does require some coding and SharePoint skills, and this can be costly and time-consuming. If you have the time and skills to customize and configure your SharePoint, this may be the way to go. The second way is to use ready-to-go SharePoint add-ons and turnkey solutions for SharePoint. These solutions make SharePoint a lot more easier to use, tailored and customized to your business needs, and don't require any coding or SharePoint skills. They are very quick to get up and running, to set up, and are very cost-effective. So this is a key takeaway in this webinar, that there are turnkey, ready-to-go SharePoint solutions that do the work for you. And a disclaimer, we are biased towards these turnkey Office 365 and SharePoint products because one, we have come to see the value of such a product as a small to medium-sized business ourselves, and of course we have our BizPortals 365 product that was developed out of our needs. But trying to be as objective as possible, we truly see the value and benefits of these solutions as a small to medium-sized business. And then speaking of the benefits, here are some benefits of a ready-to-go SharePoint add-on and turnkey solution. They're very real and tangible in terms of cost and time savings and ROI. The first benefit is simplicity. These SharePoint tools turn SharePoint into a comprehensive yet easy-to-use workplace solution, requiring little to no learning curve to use. Also, these add-on solutions are a lot easier than configuring SharePoint yourself. And as an add-on, they easily fit within your SharePoint and Office 365 instance environment, so the complexity is left behind the scenes and you don't have to deal with it. The complexity, that is. Two, SharePoint brings in an ecosystem of powerful collaboration and productivity features on its own, and even more so when combined with SharePoint, with Office 365 tools. And then third, importantly, cost savings. The first element of cost savings is savings in IT skills, your IT resources, and the IT maintenance needed. As we mentioned, configuring SharePoint yourselves to do the things we discussed can be costly and time-consuming, but the SharePoint add-ons that we are talking about are SaaS, software as a service, and cloud-based solutions, so you're not managing the maintenance and updates, so it simplifies your IT, so you save in IT maintenance costs and setup costs with the SaaS-based SharePoint solution. And the second part of the cost savings is to get individual separate solutions for forms, one for project management and another for content management. It's costly. Using SharePoint to bring these tools together in one solution is a lot more cost effective. And if you are already a SharePoint user, the return on investment is even better as you're simply just getting more out of your existing SharePoint, as you're getting more out of your existing SharePoint. And then finally, by replacing manual and wasteful operations with automated workflows and easy to find and accessible information, you save a lot of employee time and overhead, making their day-to-day work lives easier. And the fourth benefit is quick implementation. You can have a ready-to-go SharePoint add-on up and running in a couple of days to a week if you're on Office 365 or SharePoint. And then finally, these products are built for the future. By being a SaaS-based, you get regular updates by a provider. In our case, that would be us. We continually maintain and update the product with new features, so no need to worry about your SharePoint and the way you use it becoming outdated. And then security, you get the latest and greatest security updates and leverage Microsoft's investment in enterprise-grade security. Mobility, you will be built and equipped to support a mobile workforce. As a cloud-based solution, you have anywhere, anytime access to SharePoint on any device, especially as information is increasingly accessed on mobile devices by employees. And then scalability. A ready-to-go turnkey SharePoint solution such as ours gives you the ability to add to the platform on a virtually instantaneous basis, whether it's data, projects, employees. As you grow, you continually add more work and employees and teams. All of these can be easily added to the solution, so it's scalable as you grow. So there was a lot to unpack there, but if you have any questions so far, please ask them in the chat. And now Anil will bring this to life with the demo.
All right. Thanks, Sudhi, for the great presentation and information. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me. So again, in the chat window, if you could just say yes, that you can hear me, that would be great. Then we can begin. Okay, so let's get started. Now what we're going to do is really go through our product, that is BizPortals 365, ready to go intranet on SharePoint. And it's, as you can see, it's of Office 365. So it's hosted on your Office 365 instance. Okay. Again, as Sudhi mentioned, I've had a lot of experience with SharePoint, a lot of aches and pains with out-of-the-box SharePoint, trying to configure it and make it useful. It's a great business management platform, but in terms of usability, there's a lot to be done. And so we have built this ready-to-go intranet solution, and again, specifically catering to small to mid-sized businesses. So let's look at a couple of key things. Again, for this webinar, we are going to be focusing on first forms management, then we will go through documents in terms of organizing, categorizing, and searching documents, and then finally we'll take a look into project management. Okay. So right now, as you can see, I'm logged in, and if you can look at the top right, as Alan, he's a marketing manager, and there are forms here out of the box that we provide. Again, we think that this will meet probably 75 to 80% of the needs of small to mid-sized businesses. So Alan goes ahead and he fills up a time of request. Now, it's a very simple form. Again, we understand every business has their own needs for forms, and we can work with you to customize. So Alan goes ahead, chooses a date, and he's going to select a date here, and he's just going to fill a time off form. Okay, and it's as simple as clicking on submit. There's a message that comes up that your form is successfully initiated. Okay, now we have Alan's boss, that is I'm going to move on to Dan Jump. Now, Dan Jump, he doesn't need to be logged into the intranet. He could get a notification by email as soon as a form comes to him for review. But in this case, he is on the intranet in our form center that we have built, and he sees in my inbox there's a form. Now he's going to open up a form, and I'm just going to walk through the whole workflow. And he looks at that form and he says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and approve this. And he simply clicks on approve. Now, at that point, he could have rejected it, sent it back to Alan, but he goes ahead and approves. And then it moves on to now I'm logged in as the administrator, as you can see. And for the administrator, again, going to my inbox in the form center, looking at some payroll information saying Alan has enough time that he can take off, and he goes and approves this. So this is a very simple example of time off form moving through BizPortals 365. So there's a review and approval process, a workflow process that we set up for all forms, and we can definitely work with you and cater to your workflow needs for individual forms. So out of the box, we have daily activity report forms, some reimbursement forms that we include. We also have IT help desk forms. Again, this is great for internal IT management. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of our forms management. Now let's move on to documents. Now in BizPortals 365, what we provide is a document library for all departments. As you can see in this example, it's a marketing department, and we are looking at all the documents in the department. And we provide this grid where, once you put a document in, you can easily see it. It's a great way to list all the documents. You can see some key columns here like categories, subcategories. So when you bring a document in into SharePoint, or in this case our tool, what you can do is upload a file and give it a category. Again, there are some categories that come in the system by default, but we can customize these based on your needs. Okay, so you can categorize your documents. There is subcategories also, and then you upload the document in the grid, and then you can easily sort by categories or subcategories. It's easy to get that info. Also for document search, we provide a very powerful search. Let me go ahead and show you very quickly. So let's say I search for the word lead. I could search for a document within the title. So the word lead within the title, or let's say the content. So let me go ahead and search for all documents with title in the lead, with the word lead, and that comes up. And I can go ahead and also search by content. So it brings up the search result. Okay. Now SharePoint has its inherent very powerful search built in. What we have done is made sure that it's very user-friendly and it provides the results right in the grid for you guys. All right. So very powerful search. As I showed you, you can browse and upload a document. You could create a new document, as you can see on the left here. You could create a new document or folder. Again, this is integrated very tightly with Microsoft Office 365. So it brings up Word Online, and you could basically create a new document start authoring the document right here. Each document, there are several actions you can perform. You could rename a document, copy and move it from one library to the other. You could check out a document, again, inherent functionality of SharePoint, and we have brought it here. Basically, once you check out a document, it locks the document. You can edit it, check it back in, and you can have multiple versions of a document. So we have made sure that it's very easy to get to that functionality by displaying it in this way. Okay, and you can obviously share it with people. So this is a marketing department. If you wanted to share this document with someone outside the department, it's easy to click on shared with, and we could send a link to that individual. All right, so in terms of document management, now this was, you could bring in one document at a time with browse and upload. On the right side, on the top, you can say quickly add documents. Really, you can drag and drop your files either on this location or right onto the grid, and you can bring in multiple documents and then categorize, subcategorize them at a later time. Okay, so this is our document management feature. Again, we have used Microsoft SharePoint functionality. We have brought it to life, made it usable for everyone, and that's our portal here. Now, moving on to the third and key functionality, which is missing in most of the intranet solutions out there, that is project management. Okay, so project management, there are so many tools out there. I'm sure most of you are using some tool or the other. What we have done is really taken all the key functionalities of project management and brought it into our intranet. What you see in front of you is a project portfolio view. Again, this is within a marketing department. So very easily you can see 2 projects that are in progress. You can search for projects on the left side here by putting the project manager name or a time period. You can search for projects by giving a period and bring those out, right? So project management, again, a great project portfolio view. And then let's look into one of the projects. So let's go into digital marketing, and I'm just going to open that up. Here is a view of one of the projects in the marketing department. As you can see, we provide a news and announcement feature. A great way to get away from emails to your project team. You can come and publish an announcement for the project right here. Very easy to do that. Also, you can go ahead and have discussions, as you can see right here, discussions with your team members. So everything is in one view. You don't need to use different tools. However, Office 365 does give you Yammer and other tools. What we have done is, again, made sure that it's easy for businesses and employees to use this. Then we have some key features of project management. Obviously, description of the project, as you can see in the middle. We have you can just put in all text information. You could have goals and objectives of the project. You could have resources, and then you have a way to have sub-projects for some larger ones. Again, all this is customizable. So going back to description, if you wanted to include some other categories here, we could work with you and teach you, in fact, how to set this up for yourself. We have some tracking features of a project. Again, a project has key milestones, so you could have key milestones listed for a project. You could have issues and risks, and I'm just, hopefully that will come up in the middle area. It's just taking a while. And also, you could have tasks for the project. Okay, so we could track project key things in the project by listing them right here. And every project comes with a document library. And this is similar to the document library that I showed you in the marketing department. It's very consistent with that. So this is our core project management feature. Now, this was within a marketing department. What you have also is a way to do a cross-department project. You could initiate a project site. As you can see, we have a link right at the top. Now, this is, let's say, a cross-functional project that you wanted to initiate. You could do that, make a new project, and then you'll have all the same features. You could add team members from different departments and execute the project. We have a great summary view of the project right at the top. So you have how many days are remaining, how many open issues, tasks, and what the end date is. Okay, so very easy way to look into all of this. All right, so we have gone through fairly quickly through our forms management functionality. Then we spoke about document management and project management. What this intranet also really gives you is a great information distribution center. So this is the home page, and very quickly I'll just talk about it. You have corporate alerts. You could have news and announcements. Again, for these features, you don't need IT or HR to publish this information. If you had the right access, you could go ahead and publish this and share it with your employees. So a great mid-level management tool for information sharing, and at the same point, it's a great social engagement tool also. So people can really put out all the information as they want and share it with people. Okay. You could see you have a little birthday web part, and on the right side, you have a spotlight feature. So again, this is all catering towards information collaboration and distribution. All right, so hopefully I've given you a good idea of BizPortals 365 and how you can better manage really your forms, projects, and documents. Again, if you have questions, please list it in the chat window, and if we will be able to, we'll answer all of those. Otherwise, we'll email you. And with this, I'll take it back to Sudhi. Thank you.
Oops, I was on mute. Sorry, everyone. So thanks, Anil. Before we go into Q&A, if you have more questions about our BizPortals 365 product, want to see more of the product and features in a one-on-one demo, or want to sign up to start using it, contact us at the email and phone number to the right. We are offering an exclusive promotion for our webinar attendees. If you sign up for BizPortals 365 in the next 30 days, we will sign you up to our enterprise pricing plan, which is $5 per user per month. Our regular plan is for businesses with 250 employees or fewer is $10 per user per month, and you will be grandfathered into that enterprise pricing plan, and no contract is required. So with that, just wanted to give you a heads up of our promotion. We will go now into some Q&A.
Thank you, Sudhi, and thank you, Anil. There was a lot of information that was presented, and with a lot of information come a lot of questions too. So we have a good variety of questions. I'll try to squeeze some of them in the remaining time. If I don't get to your questions, not to worry, we'll respond to your questions by email. And if you think of any questions later, we'll be happy to entertain all questions. Just email us at bizinfo@bizportals.com. So the first question was, your product has a lot of features, but we don't have Office 365. Can you help us to get started? Yes, definitely. We do assist our customers to get on Office 365. There are many plans offered by Microsoft. You can go to their website to check the subscription pricing and let us know if you need any assistance. I know it can be quite confusing going to Microsoft and digging for the pricing because they have a ton of options. We can guide you through the process for sure. Next question is, we are using Office 365. Where do our documents get stored? Good question, because oftentimes things are done behind the scenes in Office 365 and you don't know where the files are or documents are. But your email and documents will be securely stored on Microsoft's cloud servers. And Microsoft uses OneDrive technology for storage. So all document library files from SharePoint are actually stored on OneDrive. They're also guaranteed to be backed up, so you don't have to worry about backing up yourself. If you go to OneDrive in Office 365, there's a tool. You will be able to see SharePoint libraries along with your other files on OneDrive. So the cloud platform really helps people not to worry about those IT issues that generally you have on premise. Next question is, can the form be customized? We have many HR type of forms. So this relates to what I think Anil had showed in our demo also, is that we have some of the forms already built in. There are, of course, many other requirements that customers will have. Every organization is different, and even minute differences like the field names and labels and all that, everything can be customized. This question has great interest as it is very frequently asked. We can definitely customize as many forms as you have, and people often wonder how versatile is Office 365 for automating these business processes. These things require a little bit of knowledge and expertise to actually do it, especially if you have complicated forms and complicated flows. But you can implement multi-level approval processes, meaning one form can proceed from one person approving to the next person under certain conditions in a chain, and that can be quite complex itself. And along this process, several other participants can comment in the workflow. So with Office 365, with Microsoft has few solutions. Flow is one of the latest ones. Some of them are part of SharePoint, and all of them provide a lot of flexibility. With those, you can create dashboards to see who has the leave and how many expenses have been filed and so forth. You can do the search for the forms and many other things you can automate, like getting information about employees and populating the forms ahead of time when the form comes up for the employees. So we'll be happy to provide any assistance or implement custom forms for you. The next question is, can SharePoint accommodate a document approval process? Yes, I think some of you may not have completely seen the demo yet, but we have some of the features were shown in the demo. But SharePoint has very powerful workflow features, as I just mentioned. They also have a built-in mechanism to attach an approval workflow with documents. So these are very important things for some of the organizations where documents are professionally produced and for other clients that they have. And these workflow again have multiple steps. Each step requires a review and approval, and it goes through that cycle until the document is completely approved. And so once this workflow is created, then it can be attached to any of the documents. The next question is, how does the sharing document work in SharePoint? Very good question, because this is one of the important things that SharePoint has traditionally offered, and now with Office 365, it becomes even more powerful because you have the whole ecosystem in which you can have multiple things, including documents, for sharing. So there are many ways of sharing a document in SharePoint. First of all, you can create a library in any team site. So if you have an organization with multiple departments, each department can have its own library. So when the team member goes to the department, he goes directly to that particular library where all the relevant documents are stored in one place. So that's one very convenient, understandable way of sharing documents. And of course, you can provide permissions to different people at different levels. And then if you want to share an individual document, you can email a link to the document instead of copying the document and emailing the document itself, because the link has a particular advantage. When you modify the document, you see the modified document directly through the link. And you can also explicitly share a particular document for viewing or editing with anyone within the organization or even outside your organization. We have one last question in the remaining times, and the last question here is, what is Planner used for? So Planner is relatively a new tool in Office 365. It is another project-related tool. It is mostly used for task management. And the good thing about it is that it is very visual. So it has a more visual approach than a grid view. You can get cards and boards, so they use different terminology for hierarchy of the projects and tasks. And another useful advantage is that they are really quick to create. The task is quick to create. You have built-in dashboards. You can look at your tasks, your own tasks, and your team's tasks. And you can also link with the Microsoft Team tool that comes with Office 365. So a lot of neat things in Office 365 platform. And with our product, we have tried to even make it very easy to use it, bring functionalities from different tools, and provide you all built in so that you don't have to worry about all the configuration and other things for the product. So I hope we have given you enough information. If you have any more questions, as I said, please email us at bizinfo@bizportals.com. We'll be surely answering your questions. Thank you for attending, and I hope your time was worth it.